Welcome to Darkest Dungeon 2. My name is Nilaus, and this is a quick guide to the fourth boss, the Ambition boss, and I'm going to show you how to make quick work with a bit of preparation, with the right team and the right tools for the trick.
Behold, the source of the stain, gateway to incomprehensible emptiness.
This is a 3-phase boss fight, and each phase doesn't have a lot of hit points, but it has some specific tricks that we need to prepare for.
Ambition's reach forever exceeds its terrible grasp.
So the point here is it has 2 attacks. One is called Ideation. It puts a token on someone. It cannot hit the first row. It also has an attack which can only hit the first row. So the idea is you want to prevent that it hits the one with the token. It also has this idea where it has super blocks. It has 3 super blocks, so you need to remove 3 super blocks every turn. And if you don't, then they get converted into strength token, which is a little bit dangerous. So we've now removed 1, and there are some cool ways to do that. We can, for example, we can take those 2 block tokens, and we can use the Highwayman's Highway Robbery upgraded ability in order to steal those, and then we have 2 block tokens, which is always very handy. And then we can work away and deal some damage. It has low bleed, blight, and burn resist, so getting blight and burn here is pretty good with 2 turns, 2 actions per round. It increases, or it burns through the dots really quickly. And we have the general stream. This you can see here the little trap icon below, which means that we cannot be pushed back. So it'll do the setback, which deals 25 damage, but it only gets reduced to 6 damage, so that's not really impressive. The idea here is now it again does Ideation on the back. If you don't have a pushback, then it'll be pushing back and then sort of rolling through, and then at some point it'll hit the front row, or it'll hit someone with the token. When target is that, then it ignores blight and burn and does stun and all that stuff. So you definitely want to do that. The general stream is a very good trophy to have for this fight, because it absolutely completely trivializes this part of it, because its abilities will never be able to hit anyone with the token, because it'll token the back row and it'll hit the front row. So that's how we do it. In the meantime, we are just going to work our way through getting 3 attacks in every round, just to get it in, to get those super dodges, super blocks away. And again, bleed, blight, and burn are absolutely key to this this part here, because we it has low bleed, blight, burn resist. So we can just finish up the first run. It only has, or the first phase, it only has 65 hit points. So we can just give it a good old crush and then move into the second phase. In the second phase, the mechanic is slightly different. It has a dodge token instead. If there are any dodge tokens at the end of its turn, then it will convert those into crit tokens, which is a little bit dangerous. You can see here, it just got 2 crit tokens. That's dangerous. It has 2 attacks. It has this it has this precise intent, which puts a token on. You can see that orange thing below the 2 back rows. Then, and then the next attack will be attacking attacking anyone who has this this icon, this token. In the meantime, now we can see again it has 2 crit tokens. That makes it a lot more difficult, or a lot more dangerous. So we will just handily steal those 2. Thank you very much. We now have 3 crit tokens, and we can then proceed here. It does tear down. That only attacks anyone who has that precise intent, and it deals a fair bit of damage. But really, this is not really what you need to worry about, especially when it's not critical hit. So if you can't prevent the critical hit, it's going to be a bad time. So here again, precise intent, we can dodge it, we can block it. It now is only on the tank, so not really a big deal. So if we just put in a we can do some attacks, or we can probably better to just get some blocks up here so we don't take a lot of damage. And now it comes again. Teardown will only hit this one, and dealing a modest 3 damage, and we resist the bleed. So pretty trivial at that. At this point, it now has converted it still has 1 dodge token, so it's still dangerous because it can still crit. But that should not be too much of a problem. Here it has now 75 bleed, blight, and burn resist, but with the token, and we can still get a bleed and blight and burn to stick if you have a little bit of piercing That's what we have here. Now it's down to 12 bleed, blight, burn. So there we go. It will get stuck, and with 3 actions per round, it accrues those bleed, blight, burns really, really quickly, and we'll just finish it off. Now we go into phase number 3. So phase number 3, it only has 1 attack, so that should be safe, right? But it will then add a riposte, which is the main damage dealer from sort of normal attacks. It also does this rumination. Rumination is a target everyone, and the rumination will try to put a dot on everyone. And if they have a dot when it has the next attack, then it does the last grasp, which does a lot of damage and removes the dot. So if you don't have a good bleed resist, you are going to take a monstrous amount of damage for this fight. So get good bleed resist. You can do that with the poultices at the in item. You can do it with general items. You can do that with like the trinkets, or you can do it with the clotting poultice that I actually have equipped as well. Those are the things that you will pick up at various locations, at inns, at hoarders, at hospitals along the way, so that you prepare for this boss fight. Now again, we are just going straight in here, and it doesn't have that much in terms of resistance here for bleeds and blights, but it only has 1 action per turn, so not too bad. So again, you can see here, we now have we have 2 options of how to remove those ripostes. We can either steal them with the man-at-arms. No, we can steal with the highwayman, or we can do it with the man-at-arms. You can see here the bleed resist, 96, 96, 126, and 55. So rumination is not really going to be a big deal for us. We did still have riposte. I don't have my bellow available, so we'll just do a little bit of a defensive move with a retribution. So we also have our own riposte coming up. And that's now it does last grasp, which will only really deal damage to the highwayman because he had a dot or a bleed attached. And now again, it has 2 riposte, and I will just simply steal those with the highway robbery, just showing how good the highwayman and the man-at-arms are. I mean, I love those characters always, but they are just absolutely critical in this case. We could heal, but in all honesty, it only has 100 hit points in this phase, so that makes it pretty simple. We'll put a token on so that our bleed will stick here when we hit it. And there we go, another crit, and there we go. And it also has so much hit points. So again, it does rumination. You can see here, between the dodges and the high resist, we are just not taking any impact from it. We can just smash it, but let's be cool about it and show how bellow can remove it. And it does the last grasp with just like a modest damage and get riposted to death. How ironic to riposte a riposte boss. And that is how you take care of the ambition boss. And it is incredibly simple, as you can see, when you have the right tools. So bleed resist, the general stream, highwayman, man-at-arms, those are incredibly powerful against this fight. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you do, be sure to hit the like button, and of course subscribe to the channel. If you want to see more, let me know in the comment section below. Until next time, take care and stay effective.